What's up, everyone? It's Q from RetroQ Gaming, and I wasn't really going to make a video about this because it's not really my thing anymore. But people are going crazy already over it for absolutely no reason. So why are people going crazy? Well, as you've probably discerned from the name of this video, the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 PC requirements have been confirmed by Activision and Treyarch. So Treyarch are obviously, it's their turn this year, so they're developing Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and it's most likely more of the same. I'm not sure about gameplay or story wise, but I mean PC system wise. The big issue I have is they're still using that heavily modified old ID. I think it's ID Tech 4, ID Tech 3, maybe even. It's been that long, but they're still using that engine, which is just highly inefficient. I mean, yeah, okay, it's cost effective from their point, but it's just highly inefficient because to do all the stuff that they do with that engine, it's more taxing than it should be, at least, anyway. But here's some of the main points of it anyway. So Black Ops 3 is going to be exclusively on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC. There's currently no mention of a 360 version, of a PS3 version or a Wii U version. Oh yeah, PC version, of course, as most games most decent big budget games these days has 4K support. So that's really the main stuff for the moment. But the only other thing I'll throw in is that they've confirmed the minimum PC requirements for Black Ops 3 on PC. I said PC twice in there, but still. But okay, so here we go. I'll give out the specs, and then I'll give out a quick little thought on them. There's not much in there, but it'll be understandable. So operating system: Windows 7 64-bit, Windows 8 64-bit, Windows 8.1 64-bit. Processor: Intel Core i3 530 at 2.93 gigahertz, or AMD Phenom 2 X4 810 at 2.6 gigahertz. Memory: 6 gig RAM. Graphics: NVIDIA GeForce GTX 470 1 gigabyte, or ATI Radeon HD 6970 1 gigabyte. DirectX version 11, network broadband internet connection, sound card DirectX compatible. Okay, there's no hard drive space listed in there anyway, but the key things are PC spec requirements, at least anyway. The operating system is 64-bit. That's a given. It makes perfect sense, because if you're still running a 32-bit operating system in this day and age, you really shouldn't. And the fact that it's only coming to current gen consoles and PC, because the current gen consoles are 64-bit, PC 64-bit, it makes perfect sense. So Core i3 model 530 at 2.93 gigahertz. So that's a first gen i3. I'm a little bit surprised that they went as the dual core processor, but it's minimum. So I mean, I can understand why it would do minimum processing, or it would do as the minimum processor, because it's still it's still a moderately decent chip. Personally, I wouldn't recommend a dual core for anything, but again, we are talking about minimum requirements for a 64-bit game. So memory: 6 gig RAM. That's standard these days. And I mean, if you don't have 8 gig plus RAM in any computer that you plan on playing games on, there's an issue right there. Graphics card GTX 470 1 gigabyte, or an ATI Radeon HD 6970 1 gigabyte. Again, this is all minimum spec. 470 card is a DirectX 11 card with 1 gigabyte, and the fact that it's a 70 model, like a 470, 570, 670, etc., it's not going to have the full-on grunt of the more powerful cores like you'd have of something, say a 680 and 980, anything like that, versus a 670 or 970. And the 1 gig RAM is going to be fairly limiting as well in your texture choices and any settings really at that. But this again is the minimum spec. DirectX version 11 470, the 400 series are the DirectX 11 upwards. So it's a DirectX 11 game. It makes perfect sense, especially because at the same time it's being developed for the current gen consoles. And that's pretty much it. There's no point in mentioning the network broadband connection and the DirectX sound card. So, blah. That's all the standard. So let me know what you think about the current system requirements, or the current minimum system requirements, at least anyway. Because people are freaking out for absolutely no reason. I don't understand why they're freaking out. This is a very modest requirement. You could put all this together for a couple of €100. I wouldn't really recommend it, but it could be done easy. I mean, the specs on this are 4 years old nearly. Well, with the exception of, the graphics, yeah, they're 4 or 5 years old, which again fits in with the technology in the current gen consoles. I'm not being a biased fanboy or anything like that, but it just makes sense with the hardware that's in the consoles and the minimum spec on these. It's about right. So let me know what you think of the system requirements in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos on my channel.